Welcome to Heart Magic Wisdom. Today I want to speak about desires and preferences. We all have desires and we all have preferences. Desires are things like, when I grow up, I want to play in a band, or I want to live in a nice house at the beach in Spain. And so now what we can do with these desires is we can work towards them or execute them, and we can also think about them. And what we can also do is to uncover all the desires that we have by asking, what do I want? What else do I want? What else? And also, for everything that you find as an answer, you can also ask why. So let's have some more examples. You can say, I have the desire to be happy, which is probably the root desire for most of the desires. And I want to have a pleasant experience, so I want to get a massage. Okay, what else? I want to have a pleasant experience, so I want to have enough money so I can always do what I want. But there are also desires that are very individualistic, like maybe some guy has a desire to play music, another guy has a desire to play sports, another guy has a desire to express themselves by using paint or writing, another guy has a desire to just lie at the beach. And now when you ask these people why, it's kind of hard for them to answer it. So when you ask a musician, why do you play music and why don't you, for example, run a marathon, then his answer is just, because I want to, because that's what I like. But it's really hard to inquire deeper into this because the desire is just here, the preference is just here, and now you have to deal with it. You can either do it, not do it, or think about it, or do it sooner or do it later, or do it in different ways. But the desire is here, and if it doesn't go away by itself, then now you are here stuck with the desire and you have to deal with it. So then what should you do with the desire? I think there are two kinds of desires. The ones that are immediately fulfillable. For example, if someone tells me, I wanted to start painting for a year now and I haven't done it, then my answer would be, well, just start painting. You don't really have to think about it. Just do it, and because you can do it in an afternoon and then go from there and see how you feel then. But if your desire is to be the world's biggest movie star or buy a super expensive car, then that's not immediately achievable. And maybe in this situation, you can think about it some more before you take action. Because for a big goal, you need a plan, but also maybe if you think it through, you realize that you can fulfill your desires with even less effort. Let's say you find out that the reason why you want to be a big movie star is for people to see you or to like you, then maybe there is easier ways to fulfill your desire than become the world's biggest movie star. I mean, the interesting thing is that I saw an interview with Will Smith, and apparently he lost a girlfriend at a young age, and his strategy for this to never happen again was to become so famous that people would never leave him again. So it's a very complicated strategy to realize this simple desire of trying to solve the problem of how do I not feel this bad emotion anymore of being left by someone I like. And another thought here is that usually when you fulfill a desire, there may be some immediate relief or lack of desire, but sooner or later a new desire comes. And let's say your desire was to climb a mountain, and then you work for it, you train, you do the steps to get there, and you achieve your goal. Now the next day after you achieved your desire, what do you feel? I guess a lot of people, they feel a bit empty, is what I hear a lot, because before they had this positive feeling from a clear goal, and now they have this uncertainty and no clear path. So now they are in a new situation, and now they have a new circumstance that they have to navigate through. The general problem of desires doesn't go away. You are kind of strapped in this desire machine where the desire comes to you. You are now stuck with it, and you have to somehow deal with it by either fulfilling it or trying to get rid of it, which would then be another desire to get rid of the desire. And even if you fulfill the desire, then now sooner or later there might be another desire. You know, it's kind of an endless machine of desires in a way. And in a way you can say it's a three-part process. First, you are here and you see that there is a desire, which is the beginning part of a sequence. Then there is a middle part where you take steps to work with that desire to get it to a point where you feel satisfied. And third is when you can say, okay, now I really can check this off my list. For example, for me personally, ever since I was young, I had a desire to play in a band. And after playing in several bands over many years, now I don't have any more desire to play in a band. I mean, it's not like that I specifically don't want to play in a band anymore, but it's just really not important to me. I could play in a band, I could not play in a band, it doesn't matter to me. But still I have other desires. I have the desire for my body to be healthy. I still want to feel good. And I have this specific desire to be an influence of making things better in the world, which is something I think about a lot. You know, like in many jobs, you just are executing a task, or you are supporting a company that has goals that are fine. In my case, I've worked at companies that do things that are overall good for the world. But for me, I feel like the real big change comes from people being more aware and coming together, sharing their experience and comparing their experience and getting input from other people and to get new perspectives, because ultimately we all know that the world system, how it is right now, cannot go on forever. It's crazy out here right now. So this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this channel now also. But just what I wanted to say is that this is now another desire after I had the desire for the band and countless other desires. Now there is a new desire, and it just keeps going. The only thing you can really do is just get with the program. If you feel like the desire that you have is according to your own worldview, making the world a better place, then acting on it is a nice thing, because the desire is to make things better and you want things to be better. So it's like a whole package that works together. And let's say there is medium grade packages that also make sense. Like, let's say, for example, I understand people who want to get revenge for something. Like, let's say, a very understandable situation for me is if someone has a daughter and someone else does something bad to their daughter, and now they want to do something bad to that guy. So now that's also a chain of events that makes sense, which is also, you could also say it's a desire not to get the revenge. But now here in this situation, it's debatable how much better it is after. I mean, you can say there is more justice in a way if he would act out his desire for revenge. Justice in the sense of his personal sense of justice, but it would add to more violence in the world overall. And the most important thing is that there would probably be another sort of repercussion towards the original father, and he would get in trouble with the justice system, because this is not how the justice system sees the justice. The justice system is not about personal revenge. So there's all sort of complicated things behind this desire. So I think in this case, it would need more thought, if possible. If this father in this instance, however, felt like this was his way, then I guess this is his way. The desires are complicated. For me personally, I just really try to find a strategy where I have as much peace of mind that I can have. So personally, I try to avoid as much of the actions that create additional problems in the world. Even like in some examples where I have been wronged or things were unfair to me from my perspective, then I try to focus on the positive things. I mean, this is just a strategy. Everyone can have their strategy. And it's hard to know what you would do if the things became really bad. So far, it didn't get really bad. It just got medium bad in my life at certain points. And the strategy that I was doing, I feel like was a good one. But I mean, obviously you have to say every situation is its own challenge, and you will have to see step by step. There is a saying that goes like, the path of life is easy for the one who has no desires. To me, that's very true. I mean, another way to say it is achieving something is equal to not wanting to achieve it at all. But the thing is that we cannot choose the desire. So if you have the desire, it's here. And to want to not have a desire is another desire. So you're stuck with it. And preferences are kind of the little brother of the desire. So if I ask you right now, would you rather lie down, have a massage, eat food that you like, or I give you a bunch of other options, then you will automatically have a preference. But it's not like it must happen. It would just be nice if one would happen over the other, especially if I give you all positive options. If one of the options was, would you like if I hit you in the head, then I'm sure that's lower on your list of preferences. And I guess the point of this video is to bring more awareness to the fact that the desires are always here, and you can ask why a bunch of times, but at some point you just don't know. The preferences work the same way. They are here, and you can ask why a bunch of times, and at a certain depth you just say, well, I mean, this is just what I like, this is just what I prefer. I think you can say that the desires and the preferences are a great thing because they lead you more and more into a scenario that you like. So if in an ideal sense, you would know for sure that every desire that you have, you will eventually get. So you will, if you want something, then you will get it after a while. Then you would say, oh yeah, great, here's a new desire, and now let's just wait a little bit, and then I have it, and then the world is better because it's more like I want it. And this would be a continuous process of improving the scenario for you, and you would feel really great about the desire. But on the other hand, you know, or you think that if you have the desire, there is no guarantee that you actually get the outcome of the desire. So now it feels a little bit more like a weight because it could go either way. It could be impossible. You could take not enough action. Something could go wrong. So now you feel ambivalent or even badly towards the desire. You think, oh no, another desire, now I have to deal with it. And this all stems from the fact that you think the desire doesn't have 100% chance of becoming actuality, which is maybe true. If you think there's only this life, then that's very probably true. But all you can do is to put a positive spin on it and try to see the desires as something positive, because if you see them as something negative, then how does this make the situation better? Now it's, oh, I have the desire, now I feel worse, and now your day is worse. Instead of that, you can say, oh, now I have a desire, so let's see if I can use this desire and actualize it, which then would put me in a state where the world is more like I want it. The story that I see in the world is more like I want it. And even if I don't achieve it, then I am at least doing something that I like, that I see purpose in. And I guess that's all you can do, because in a sense your options are limited either way. You don't have that many options. And I would say go with the desire. Try to see it in a positive light. See it in a way that says, the desire is mine. I am a supporter of myself. I think what I want has merit. I don't want to suppress myself, but I want to enable myself to get the desires that I wish for. And in actuality, it means take small steps every day to get more towards the life that you want. Especially in business, it's called the low-hanging fruits. If you feel like you wanted to paint for a long time and you're not painting, that's easy to do. Often, as the longer you don't do something, the bigger of a thing it becomes in your head. Just do something in the direction of it and get moving. If you have momentum, then it's already a very different picture than if you're inert. Yeah. All right, this was the video on desires and preferences. Thank you for watching and see you soon.